I'm Jackson Rudolph with Team Paul Mitchell Karate, and this is your tip of the month, bow staff trick combos. One of the most difficult things to understand about tricking combos is how to make them flow. A lot of people can put a series of tricks together, but it takes a little bit more skill to be able to put them together in an order and in an organization that allows the combination to flow. For example, if I was doing a combo, I wouldn't want to go from around the back to a release and then from here try to go, say, into a left-handed box cutter. A, because I'm not left-handed, and B, because I'm in the center of the bow, which is not prime position to throw the bow horizontally from there. Instead, I may want to switch direction using a transitional trick like a neck roll to set up box cutters from there. This is a concept that you only want to handle with your more advanced students. Beginner students don't need to know how to combo yet because all they'll be doing is trying to spin their bow and not let it stop. For your beginner students, you want to make sure they focus on their striking and their strike combos first. Then once they're ready with their tricks, they can start to master those a little bit more, and once they have a good understanding of the basic tricks, then they can start trying to combo them together. One of the key concepts of bow staff trick comboing that I try to teach all of my students is a very basic manipulation. That manipulation is this. It's also a speed drill that if you've seen the MA drills section, we use that there as well. So this drill, you start in your left hand, you start thumbs up just as a guide. You're going to turn your wrist down, so now you are in a thumbs down position. You go around the back and switching off to the right hand. Now this motion is very simple. We're just going to go from here, in front, flip the bow over, palm up, take the bow back, and then go down. We repeat the same motion on the left side. Out, in front, over, back, down. Just try to memorize that sequence. Out, in front, over, back, down. You notice as I do that more quickly, it starts to flow a little bit more, almost like a large figure eight motion. Swinging around the back, always keeping the bow moving. And as I go faster, I'm going to pivot my back foot and use my hips to create a little bit more speed, a little bit more torque, ultimately trying to spin the bow as fast as I can. Now, what that does is it gets you to the perfect position to do any bow staff move imaginable. If you can get both hands behind your back, you can do absolutely any bow staff move that you want to. I can take the bow out into a strike. I can take the bow out into a chamber for a forward strike. I can take the bow out into a release. I can take the bow out into a hand roll, into a different body roll. I can get the bow to any position that I want to from the behind the back position, and that's what this manipulation does. Someone were to give me a random trick, say a basic release. I do a basic release, catch. Now, in order to get to any other trick, I'm already over, so I just go back and down. There's part of that. If I wanted to do a trick using my left hand and the bow's in my right, I would just go out, in front, over, back, down to set the bow into my left hand where I can do releases from there. I have had some students that are right-handed, but they prefer to do their tricks with their left hand for whatever reason. For that, this is the perfect transition because all their striking will be done right-handed, but then when they need to do a trick, they can't simply go around the back and then do the trick. They'll have to go around the back, use this manipulation to get the bow to their left hand and able to continue with the trick. So that little manipulation will help you get from any compromising position with your bow to the perfect position to go into any other trick that you want to, and that will be the glue that meshes together your trick combos. Another major concept that you always must remember when building trick combos is that you always want to go from lower level tricks to high level tricks. You don't want to do a very difficult trick at the beginning of the combo and end it with a butterfly spin. So for example, I would not throw the bow up, spin twice and catch it, just to follow it up with a hand roll, and then I'm done. Ideally what I would want to do is I'd want to start with a hand roll, build a little bit more by doing a neck roll, build a little bit more by coming around doing, say, a behind the back catch. And then once I've done building in difficulty moves, starting from low difficulty up to higher difficulty, then I would throw one of my bigger techniques, like multiple spins, throwing the bow higher into the air. Even if your students aren't good with multiple spins yet, even if, say, they can just throw the bow up and catch it, you can add a little bit of theatrics to that by putting their hands on their hips, maybe even putting hands behind the head, catching one with the hand still back there. So there's all types of different theatrical things you can do to make basic tricks look more difficult for demonstrations, for competition, etc., etc. So that is bow staff comboing. That manipulation and those few key concepts will be exactly what you need for your students to maintain flow throughout their bow forms and to have the best trick combos there can be. I'm Jackson Rudolph, and that is your tip of the month, bow staff trick combos.